So I just want to take and give a quick example. So we've done the STEeP analysis, we looked it over. Now we're going to apply it to Tesla and the auto industry. And what I want you to note is there's a database that you should become familiar with, IBIS World, through our library. It'll be really important as we move into industry analysis, or what's called five-force analysis, or another term used for it is the task environment. And but it's helpful at this stage if you get that report for the industry, auto industry that Tesla operates in, and understand what analysts who get paid to study the industry are already saying and know to be true. So what I've done is I've highlighted some things in red that I think particularly matter in this context of this industry and this company, Tesla in particular, the auto industry in general. I think that things like the sharing economy matter because it turns out that Uber, Airbnb, rental car companies, they are really big buyers of product, and it's not a customer base that Tesla has really broken into yet. I think it's really important that we think not about eating organic and gluten-free, but that hints to an overall social-cultural shift towards being more concerned about the impact that our decisions are having on the planet long term. And so that'll show up in other areas, but that's why that's highlighted. And then pricing is a really big issue for Tesla. They're trying to figure out, they've developed a business model that we might look at when we get into internal analysis that allows them to have a $35,000 price point, which is comparable to a lot of other vehicles. But now they're really trying to get down to that $25,000 price point, and some of that's making their product affordable to more consumers than it currently is, and so it relates to this idea. Government spending on clean energy is clearly important. It can create subsidies for either the company, the industry, and or the consumer. The use of electric vehicles or hybrid vehicles becoming more normal. Even artificial intelligence or robotics, as we think about self-driving cars, or whether the car is just assisting you in case you start to drift off the road, in case you're trying to parallel park and you haven't done that since you got your driver's license, those kinds of things. And then cybersecurity, international competition growing, the Internet of Things, all of this under technology, it kind of combines into this sense that we want our cars to be very technologically advanced, but we also want to feel safe in them, that they're not going to be hacked while we're driving them. So I could think of them almost as one group of ideas. So when we get into economic and ecological kind of the STEeP work that we did earlier, some of the things that stood out to me relative to this industry, alternative energy is growing, and also just a reality that the dollar, which has been strong, is weakening against some other currencies. And if I'm Tesla and I do most of my expensing in dollars, but I'm earning from sales all over the world and they have to convert back to dollars, the strength or the weakness of the dollar is going to impact my financial return. And so I just have to be mindful of that. And then also just the move away from oil and coal and how that's having impacts on maybe the use of the technology that they have around batteries beyond just automobiles. So finally, the political legal, I think slowing international trade could have an issue. So could work from home, because how much do I need my car if it's not my primary way to get to work, because I work from home a lot of the time or all of the time. So we kind of did this first part. I'm assuming you've done some research. We've asked about this second part. We need to get it down to 2 or 3 items, and then we can build it into a SWOT analysis to use in a TOES matrix, an EFAS. And I don't expect you to know these last 2, but we'll begin to introduce them over the next few lectures. So here's a external factor analysis summary, an EFAS for short, and using Tesla and pulling out some of those ideas. The reason for the red is just to differentiate. But I put 6 in here. I've asked you to get it down to 2 or 3, so I'd have to even combine lower than this once I've done other analysis. But the move towards alternative energy, I think, is really important to this company and this segment of the industry, at least. The care for the environment by consumers, and that growth is really important for this company. And the aging population all provide opportunities, because as people get older, their need and desire for mobility and self-control, self-autonomy, to be able to go where they want, when they want, really important. But their ability to do that on their own begins to be diminished. And so if my car can take me where I need to go next without me having to be the primary pilot, that's a big deal, especially as I get older. There are some threats, cyber concerns. I talked a little bit about technology, and it's important in the car, but also the car being safe is really critical. So that's a threat I want to address. The value of the dollar shifting is a threat I want to be mindful of. And the growing divide between the haves and have-nots, because I want a product that more consumers, it's in the price point that they're able to access, at least if I'm following the current strategy thoughts that Tesla has. This slide I'm not going to go over, so I'm just letting you know it's there for you. It's actually one done for Harley Davidson a number of years ago, and so you can expand it, look at it, and just see another example of an EFAS done for Harley Davidson.